stand up on a stage and calling myself, air quotes, the queen of confidence, had to be like, listen, let me let you in. The truth about confidence and what it really takes to create it. The truth is, confidence is hard. Showing up, standing up, speaking up, getting on stage, saying what you feel, being seen as you are. Holy shit. Everyone is confident. Everyone can access confidence because confidence is trusting yourself. Do you have trust in yourself? That's all it is. I'm going to get on stage and possibly bomb, but I trust that I will figure it out. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but do I trust that 99% of the time I usually will work it out? You're still alive, my friend. Yes, you've won already. So when I look at confidence, I look at, do you trust yourself? And if you don't, every single day, make yourself one little promise so that you can build self-trust, which means you're building your confidence, which means you can do whatever the hell you put your mind to. Even if you mess it up, you learned something for the next time.
There goes a sight from my soul.
Welcome back to the Inspired Evolution. And we have with us today, inspiring our evolution, Erika Cramer. Erika, how are you there, Sister Bear?
I am so good. So happy to finally meet you.
Oh, it is such a pleasure to have you here. And for those tuning into Erika for the first time, get ready, strap yourself in. She is the queen of confidence. She's a best-selling author, an award-winning confidence coach. She's turned her life's adversities, which we're going to dive a little bit into this today, into a mission to empower women all over the world. She's been affectionately coined the Cardi B of personal development. She combines her own personal journey and her studies in psychotherapy basically to inspire, but also practically help this global movement that she's creating facilitate a transformation for women to live their lives around self-belief and empowerment and ultimately, just coming home to greater and greater levels of confidence. Thank you so much for doing this. Should I say Cardi B or should I say Erika? I'll say Erika for now. But there's a vibe. There's a vibe. You totally carry a vibe. Sorry. I'll let you speak.
We won't be rapid. Yeah. We won't be saying that many bad words, but I do love her. She doesn't care what people think about her. She does her thing.
She got sass. She got mad
take
sass.
That piece of her. I'm like, yeah, girl, I like it.
Yeah. It's and for those that are tuning into the audio, if you probably can't see what's going on, but like we've rocked up and Erika is rocking it, big pink hat. And hey, actually let's start there. Pink has been a color that is actually starting to mean more and more to you the more and more you spend time with it. Tell us a little bit about pink. Let's just start there for a quick sec.
Yeah. So thank you for having me. And pink was I hated pink. I hated
what was wrong with
the
pink?
color. I just thought it was too soft, too womanly, too girly, too feminine. I was angry. I had pain. And I was like, I am black like my soul. That's my color. And as I started doing this work and looking for a brand and pink started coming. And I was like, oh, what is this color? And it's actually been an evolution. I had magenta hot pink, and I felt like that was younger Erika with like hair extensions and breast implants. And that was the young Erika, right? And so pink and I have had this relationship, which is hilarious, that's evolved. Yeah. And when we did our rebrand in 2018, when I launched my coaching business, it was like we really worked on pink and what shade and what does it mean and what does it stand for. And it was like finding this blush empowerment pink, not a baby soft pink because we don't want to apologize. But now I think I have 3 pinks in the brand, and it's for all of the elements of femininity and power, yet softness and strength. And so, yeah, it's definitely my alter ego, the pink and the hat.
Alter ego. Oh, yeah. I'd love to ask you. Yeah, you mentioned you started confidence. Well, you became this. Well, now you're a renowned confidence coach. But what? Because your journey is not one that sort of. If I was to look at your origin story, which maybe it's worth you covering some ground in this space for people, because I've obviously done a hectic amount of research coming into this conversation. So I know your origin story, and then you look at your origin story and you're going to go, oh, do you get mystified sometimes and go, oh, what? Like, I'm the confidence coach? Or maybe I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
projecting on you and I should just
No,
stop. But
100%.
yeah,
No, 100%. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I think that when I speak about confidence, and the reason it's so funny, because the reason why the story came through is because how dare I, stand up on a stage in pink and crazy nails and calling myself, air quotes, the queen of confidence, and, inviting women and inviting people in the audience into more confidence when I look so confident and so amazing. And so I I had to be like, listen, let me let you in to what's actually happening. And through doing that, every time I tell my story now, I'm like, is that my life? I feel so disconnected. I'm not lying. I'm like, wow, that's a lot, lady. Like, oh my gosh, like it couldn't be more different. It's wild. So yeah.
it's trippy. Like you've got a background in modeling, and maybe confidence comes
I
from there.
know.
You've got a background in, like, there was hairstyling, and there's like the
Military.
army, and now you're in like
Yeah.
psychology, and I'm just like, what is
Such a
yeah,
Gemini.
and there's is Gemini
Explains
the one
everything.
with the scales on either side? Is
No,
that the
no,
one where
that
they're trying to?
Gemini
Which
is
one's
like
Gemini?
the faces,
That's
like just
Libra. Sorry, that's
everything.
Libra. Oh,
Yeah,
right. Okay.
literally
Yep. 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 Yep.
just like the actor, the performer, the I'm happy now, I'm sad now, I'm a chameleon, and I hate the boxes of like, you're a Gemini, so that means this, or your human design is this. But I will say that I'm definitely a fully fledged, flavorsome Gemini that loves all the things all at once, all different. I mean, it's so hectic. So I think I've had so many. Let's get into it. I grew up in America. I grew up in Boston, to a single mother. My dad left when I was 2 years old. And so I got to see my mom. And although it's been a difficult ride with her, she was my hero. She was this, I don't know, this like superwoman who raised me on her own, who did the best she could. Now that I'm a mother, I know how hard it is. Yeah. Like it's very, and I have an amazing, incredible partner, but it is a
Yeah.
difficult, it is a
And
difficult
still
job.
hard. And it's
Oh,
still
it's so
hard. And
hard.
someone doing it on their
Can
own,
I get
like,
a
I
third
just,
third person?
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
it's hard. So she did that, and she really encouraged me, but I think having her be the one who raised me and live alone with her, she struggled with bipolar disorder, mental illness, and so from 2 weeks old until I was 16, I was put into foster care, and my mom would go to mental hospitals. And so that was this journey of that abandonment feeling, that you're not chosen, that you're not good enough to stay. My dad leaving, you're not good enough to stay for, something must be wrong with me. So I feel like it was threaded inside of my life, this idea that you're not enough as you are flawed, and there's something wrong. And that was just my foundation, my baseline. And so, in the mix of all of that, the foster care system, I was sexually abused. I was physically abused by my mother, who, although she didn't mean it, she beat me a lot, and it was an interesting experience to love someone so much, because children are so loving, and then have that be the person who also makes you bleed, and it was a crazy, yeah, very hectic dynamic, and positions that she put me in because of her lack of confidence that I now see with so much empathy. She put me in relationships that with men that were not great and abused me sexually, and it was her lack of confidence bringing those in. And so there was this very challenging childhood that just had me having to defend myself and fight for my worthiness and fight for my acceptance. And I was very aggressive as a kid. I didn't shrink. I think there's a few things people do. They either shrink inward and kind of try to disappear, or we fight our way out. And I say thankfully, because anger, has energy. And so it moves you into action. And so I was a very angry child that was trying to really just protect myself. And so that was kind of the baseline of Erika Cramer, Erika Sepulveda, who I used to be, my maiden name. Yeah, and it was pretty hectic.
It's interesting as you're sharing. I'm having this visceral realization just of potentially, and this is completely a conjecture, the spiritual strengths that children really have, because here are the people that are meant to be their like number ones, in terms of like, this is my entire pillar of life support, literally. And yet, they can do such challenging things to them, and yet the kids continue to come back with love and just more love and more love. Like, I think we have that dogs are loyal, and wow, that sounds really rude when I'm saying it out loud,
I hear you.
so I should think before I speak. But you know what I mean? Like dogs,
Yeah.
they love you unconditionally, and kids,
Yeah.
similar, and they learn. And this is really interesting when you start getting into psychology, just how much they twist and contort themselves in and
Yeah.
around into these knots to just receive love.
Yeah.
And ultimately, yeah, just to be able to receive attention, which, really is at the crux of so much of our self-worth stuff.
Yes. Yeah. That acknowledgement, that desire to be validated, to be seen, to be accepted, to be enough, and dad leaving so early. It was funny. This was something I realized maybe a year and a half ago. I studied with Gabor Mate, and it was a 12-month training. Oh, he's just amazing. And
He's like, he's not from this
God,
world.
I mean,
Just the way
I
he
was
takes
like,
things on and then doesn't take them on. Sorry, I'm totally interjecting. You were
I know.
talking.
I love it.
Sure,
No,
Shamrock.
Gemini loves this. Okay, we love this. And I'm just like, I'm just going to sleep. My kids were in my bed, and my husband's on the other side, and I'm just crying. And he's like, "Are you okay, babe?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just realizing that I'm just holding space for myself as I'm doing this training with him, and I'm realizing all of this stuff." And I'm like, "Is everything I do so that I could prove that I was worthy enough to stay for?" Like, fuck, oh my God, I'm blowing my own mind, right? And I don't know. It's a question mark. Is that why I am on this mission? Who knows? I'm on the mission. And so I think that these desires to be seen, obviously, it created an adolescence of a young girl who wanted to be validated. And we see this in our world now as grown women, as grown men, as grown people walking around with our Gucci bags and our flashy name brands and being half naked or whatever it is that we do. Please see me. Please validate me. Please tell me I am enough. I am dying for you to see me. And that's how I was. I think that's what got me into the modeling. And spoiler alert, I still didn't feel seen. I was the most least confident in my life when I was in music videos and on covers of magazines, looking fantastic and feeling internally damaged. And so, yeah, I think when I was 16 years old, I decided that I was going to leave. I was like, I got to get out of here. I don't want to be in this town. I had this weird realization when I was 12 years old. I'm right outside. My mom got sick. She left me. She went on a plane with no luggage and left me for 2 months. I was 12 years old. And I came home. She wasn't there. For 2 months, she was gone. And I stayed with a friend. And I remember being outside being like, this is like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm 12 now. I probably felt like I was 30 years old when I was 12 because I had done so much and paid bills. And I was just a little grown
The
up. And
amount
I'm
of
like,
responsibility on your shoulders
yeah,
when you're navigating life on your own. Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
wild. And I'm
Whoa.
like, I'm done. Like, can I come off this? Like, I wasn't suicidal or anything, but I was like, I don't want to do this. And so I felt that my environment, my area where I was, that part of the world, I don't want to be here. I was like, I'm out. And so subconsciously, I didn't know, but I chose the military as my ticket out. They were paying for college. I sucked at school. Clearly, I had a really rough time at school and trying to learn. And I was like, yep, I'm going to the Army. And so they would pay 4 years of college. They came to my cafeteria. In America, we have like cafeterias. And they came and I was like, I'm going. And signed up for the military. Didn't think about this, but subconsciously, I really believe that I was looking for some kind of systemizing, some kind of scheduling and rigidity that I was missing in my childhood. And so that was a whole journey. I was in the Army for 10 years and I can't even believe it because I would never do that again. It's not a choice. I want my children to make no offense, but I'm like, oh my gosh, you see a lot when you're in the United States Army. Let's put it that way. So I did that, married my high school sweetheart. He went to the Marine Corps, and this was right when 9/11 happened. So I was in boot camp for a month doing my thing, getting yelled at by drill sergeants. and the towers were hit. They put us in a room and we were all like, wait, what? Like, is this a joke? Like, in that time when we joined the military, we just joined for college. And now we're at war. Like, our generation, we didn't know war. I'm an 83 baby. We didn't know nothing about war. And so to be in the middle of your boot camp training and the towers get hit, it was like another boot camp. Like, that rest of the time was so crazy to be in that experience. I will say, when that war in Iraq happened. So I tried to escape. I tried to escape my life. I moved away with my boyfriend, my high school sweetheart, and we got married in secret. And unfortunately, when he came back from Iraq, we got into a really terrible drink driving accident. Again, we were both kids who had lost our fathers. They left us when we were young, traumatized, and just turned to alcohol and had these issues where we numb out. And maybe if you're listening to this or watching this, you resonate with numbing out, whether it's with Instagram or scrolling, or maybe it's TikTok or Tinder or porn or alcoholism, drinking, right? In Australia, there's a massive drinking culture. And we were numbing. We were looking for relief. And we ended up crashing. I broke my back in this horrible car accident where I had to learn how to walk again. I was handicapped for 30 days in a walker for 3 months as a 22-year-old young woman. It was really shocking. Um, and I thought it was my wake up call. And then the following year, unfortunately, my husband died in an accident on his own. And that was like, okay, is this a joke? Like, I'm done. That was my moment, really, Emirat, where I was like, TKO, trauma overload. I'm finished. I genuinely felt like one of those people with the cartoons with the storm that follows you around the cloud and just electrocutes you and rains on you. And I felt like I had that thing my whole life. And then when Gio died, I was just like, that's it. Like, what am I going to do with this? And I had never had anyone die in my life. So for my husband, who I was with for 7 years, to die like instant, it was just like TKO. I just felt like it was wild.
Your father left.
Mm,
Your mother had her challenges,
yeah.
putting it nicely.
Yeah.
And then your partner died.
Yeah.
Comes back to where I started the conversation. How the fuck are you the queen of confidence? Like, sorry, I hate to sort of butt in and make light of, but like, seriously,
100%. Hot mess express, my friend. That's what I put my husband. I'm like, how the hell did you stay with me? Because when I came
also,
here,
you said we weren't going to rhyme. Also, sorry to butt in again. You said we weren't going to rhyme. You just did. Sorry.
Maybe we going
I'm
Cardi B a little bit.
being inappropriate. Yeah. Sorry.
No,
Please
I mean, this
continue.
is the thing.
Yeah,
We have to
man.
do this. It can't be heavy. Like, here's the thing. When you realize, like, I remember being in New Zealand once, 2020, before the pandemic happened, on the floor in a hotel, crying, thanking every single horrible abuser and difficult situation. I was in the shower, sobbing, Emma, on the floor, like, oh my God, like, thank you, God, thank you, Spirit, thank you, holy shit, wow. Thanking the horrible atrocities and difficulties and abuse that happened to me. Am I glad it happened? Of course not. Not twisted, but so grateful that I was able to be faced with that, and that my spirit and my soul and who I am in this planet was equipped and strong enough to be able to overcome it. Because today, who I am, I'm only here this way and can only speak about it this way and have created what I've created because of all of that horrible shit. And so I love to make light as well, because life is also like, right now, while shit is heavy, you also have joy, right? There's also someone right now falling in love, and someone right now is worried about cramming an exam, and someone right now, unfortunately, is dying. And this is the duality in every moment. So, I love to. I go, how the hell am I here? I should be homeless in the streets of Boston, addicted to drugs, or pregnant to different men. And no offense if anybody got a bunch of baby daddies, right? But like, that was what I honestly thought I would have 3 or 4 baby daddies and be on welfare. If you asked me, this girl that's her life. Hell no. Thank goodness that wasn't it.
Your personal trainer became your now partner. Kind of saved your trajectory in many ways, don't you?
He's literally amazing. Yep. Yep.
Tell us about how
Yeah.
important it is to have, from someone that potentially is aching, like literally aching from like positive connections. This
Yeah.
one positive connection, such a ray of sunshine in your world. Can you tell us a little bit
Mm.
about?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think women, if you're listening to this and you love the bad boy or you struggle and you have maybe a father wound like myself, I would never go to the good guy. I actually, and I've apologized to my husband and I continue to every time I mention this, but he was so sweet and gentle and soft and had done his work and was doing his work and was into meditation and breath work and just was into doing the development of self that he needed to do. And this man didn't come from a traumatic background, but he still was working on himself like he had something to prove to himself. And so when I met Hamish, he was my personal trainer and I was the inappropriate American client. Let's just go ahead and say it. Yes, wasn't him. We all know it was me.
We all know.
um, it was me. I was inappropriate. Just for the record, he can save his professionalism.
Professional
So
reputation.
yeah, literally, I had my nail technician and my personal trainer were my only friends in Melbourne. So I came to Australia, met this man in Vegas, as you do. And he was not a nice man, very narcissistic person that I attracted, by the way. Then I met another man in Melbourne. He lived in Melbourne and he was a same guy, same shit, different face, completely the same. And I'm like, two of the same, but they look different. So when we start to pay attention that we are the ones that are attracting these situations, and if we take responsibility, as Wayne Dyer says, your ability to respond, you can go, oh, the common, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the common denominator. And so I had to look in the mirror. I had met Hamish, and he was just my friend at the time. And he was talking about personal development and work. And he gently offered work. He didn't shove it down my face. He didn't say, you need to work on yourself. You're a hot mess, even though he probably should have. He gently was like, hey, I know this coach and this might be good for you. And so when I met Hamish, I was able to see what it felt like to be seen and not be judged. Every other relationship I had, I was coming from a place of lack. I was looking to be validated. I was attracting these toxic people. And I don't care who you are. I know when you see an orange flag, how fast it can turn red. I know we all know this. However, we pretend for all the fears and the limiting beliefs that are in our minds. No, I can change this person. The potential is a killer, my friend. So Hamish was a friend at the time. I could see that what he was doing, and I just decided this is me. I have to get good with myself. And so when he introduced me and said, this is some work that you can do, I genuinely, Emma, didn't know what the work was. I think people that grow up in marginalized communities or in the hood or when you're poor and you genuinely don't have the intellect. I wasn't an academic. I didn't have role models. I didn't have, great parents to teach me. I was a chick from the hood on food stamps in the ghetto with drug dealers and all this other stuff. So I really didn't have a chance to escape that until I figured out that I was in Australia and this person introduced me. And thankfully, I do say Hamish was the one who really saved me because he put up with a lot and he saw my desire to change and I started changing. And that's why he stayed. It wasn't, I want to change, but I keep doing the same thing. That's not wanting to change. That's saying the right thing, but keeping on doing the actions that keep us in stuck areas. And so, yeah, it was through him that I was able to 8 years I worked on myself. 8 years. I invested a lot of money on credit cards. I didn't have any money and I just went into debt for it. And I'm so happy I would do it again.
The collective neuroses, dialing back into what you were sharing, it seems to be more than just you. You are definitely, I don't want to say an extreme example, but it does feel quite heavy what you've gone through, right? But there is a collective neuroses, it seems, around attention. And I say this because this year, Elon Musk was the richest man in the world last year, and this year he got overtaken by Bernard Arnault. For those that know, he's the guy behind Louis Vuitton and all the luxury brands. And I've really thought about luxury for a minute and prestige because some part of me is attracted to nice things. And I've often just contemplated some of the people that I coach, because a lot of them actually have nice things as leaders and they've achieved what is called success but lack fulfillment. Two very different paths. They sound similar when you sort of say success and fulfillment. Everyone's like, oh yeah, they're the same thing. Actually, they couldn't be further apart in many ways. When you're coaching people, you start to realize that there's a massive difference. But to hone back in, started to recognize that actually luxury and, well, prestige in particular is kind of what these luxury brands espouse, right? And prestige, when I started to contemplate this, I realized it doesn't actually live anywhere else but in other people's mind. Like, prestige is not something I can go to the bank and get a mortgage on. I can borrow against. Prestige is not something that will feed my family. Prestige is not something that will make my dog happy. Prestige is not something that will actually bring me happiness. It literally is just a thing that if I have prestige, it lives in your head about me. And it's so, in need of a better word, ethereal, wispy, intangible, not real, a construct. And yet to recognize that this person is the richest man in the world, leveraging prestige, highlights to me that potentially there's a collective neuroses around attention. Like, I'm still not convinced that a $400 handbag is the same as, any different to what, maybe an $80 handbag here in Australia could get you, right? In terms of
You're being
materials and
nice.
production, it's just the
400, 4,000 or like 8,000 for a handbag.
Yeah, I'm Indian. I like to roll on a budget.
400.
One of my favorite comedians, Russell Peters, he goes,
Oh
they
yes.
said cheap, but what they actually meant was smart. But
The
yeah,
best.
like, and feeling into just how, like we were alluding to before, just the twisted nature of how we end up as little kids. The Jesuits said it, show me the kid before the age of 7 and I'll show you the man or the woman. And it's you end up looking at, for attention, we've contorted ourselves in such ways and we're playing these neuroses out. There's so much in there around attention. Tell me about, like, all of that feels like shit a little bit, because you can feel the hollowness of it, yet you participate in it anyway. Your book's called Confidence Feels Like Shit, which is really an ironic sort of title, because I find so many people going, like, espousing confidence as a silver bullet that they're chasing after, almost like hoping like it feels like happiness. Like, I want to be more confident. I want to be happy. So you say confidence feels like shit. So what's going on in there? Can you unpack a little bit around confidence, attention seeking, like the attention pieces? What is really like at the heart of it? And all this stuff that is meant to make us happy but potentially doesn't. Tell us.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that the reason why when I first had met Hamish and he was so sweet and so gentle and so soft that I didn't go directly towards him is because I was used to being treated like shit. So when we are treated like shit as children, when we're yelled at, when we're screamed at, when we're physically abused, when we're given away, when we're abandoned, what do we learn? We learn to abandon ourselves. And so when someone comes and goes, hi, I love you. You're amazing. You're beautiful. Nothing's wrong with you. I'm here to support you and hold you and love you. You're just like, what the hell's your problem? You're a weirdo. What the fuck's wrong with this guy? Like, I genuinely called my husband the PUSSY word, which is not a nice word. I was like, you're soft. Like, God, if that doesn't, I have 2 boys. I can't even talk about it because I'll start crying. The worst thing we could say, be a man. He's Sri Lankan. So they got the same, like, be a man, men don't cry. His dad's very masculine. And I'm Latina. So machismo, like the machismo thing is real. And so I knew that being treated like shit was great. I know that. I don't know what it's like to be held and loved, and I don't need to do anything for that love. I'm just loved. And so when he showed me that, and that was my color pink with black, when he showed me that, and he was the example of beautiful feminine energy. My husband is in his feminine. You are as well, in a beautiful way. And I was like a chick from the hood. Like, you're in your feminine. What does that mean? And he's just like, that's the Cardi, right? He was just like, oh, lady, we need to do some work. Like, if we're going to be together, we have to have conversations. And so I share that because I think that if you're listening to this and you're resonating or you've attracted bad boys, you too, my friend, may be missing that that example of what true love and support is. And that's why we end up in toxic relationships. That's why we end up dressing half naked, partying, seeking this, doing TikToks just to get likes and views. And we're just like, please see me. I love the Kardashians because I do think that there is merit and smart and intelligence, and their mother's intelligent. And I don't like to talk shit about anyone I don't know. I don't know where they're from or what their thing is. But what I do see is a lack of confidence. I see a please see me, please validate me, please like me, please comment on me, please buy my stuff, tell me I'm enough. You don't act in that way unless you are a cry for love, right? It's like a call for love. That's what that is. And so it's unfortunate that the youth and the TikToks and all the shit that's happening, that's where we're going, this seeking and needing of validation. And so I wanted to, in the book, talk about what confidence really is. And it's going to be a TED Talk one day because if they let me swear, confidence feels like crap. Can we say that? Anyway, it's a bit corny, but we can do it, I guess. I wanted to say the full title is Confidence Feels Like Shit, the truth about confidence and what it really takes to create it, and really is capitalized. The truth is, confidence is hard. Showing up, standing up, speaking up, getting on stage, saying what you feel, being seen as you are. Holy shit. Good luck, my friend. You're going to get criticized. Someone's going to talk about you. You're going to be going the other way when people are going that right way. You're going to be misunderstood. Your family's going to think you've lost your marbles. You quit your job. What's wrong with you? You're starting a podcast. What is this? Like, you're literally going against the grain. You are overcoming emotions like self-doubt, confusion, feeling not good enough, questioning yourself, feeling lonely. That, my friend, is what you can look forward to when you want to create confidence. You want to be more confident? Fantastic. Are you willing to deal with all of those nasty negative emotions that are on their way to you? Because that's truly what creating confidence feels like. Nobody sees the behind the scenes process of doing a TED Talk. We see Brene Brown on the red rug, just killing it. You don't see how sweaty her armpits are. You don't know that she did a spiritual poo before she got on stage. You don't know that her mouth was so dry that she could have cracked her lips. You know how that is when you go to speak and your mouth just all of a sudden the saliva is gone and you're like, okay, I think I need saliva to do this talk.
To articulate something.
I just don't want to seem so dry, And so these are the things people don't see. And they think, if only I was more confident, then the when I, then I fallacy. And I wanted to expose it in this book. And that's what I wanted to talk about because it feels horrible. It is so hard. And I give it up to anyone who gets on a stage or does scary shit. Like, I'm scared 99.8% of the time, Emmerich. I'm scared most of the time. And I feel like nervous most of the time. I'm living my life on the edge of nerves because I want to live. I want to experience what it is to be alive. And so most of the time I'm in these scary situations. And I really wanted to give a behind the scenes of what that's like, because then you won't criticize that woman or that man or that person. You'll empathize and go, oh my gosh, me too. We're in the arena together getting punched in the face by life. That's what it is.
I'm so glad you shared your definition of confidence, because for me, what you're describing as confidence, I personally define as authenticity. And I can see that you're building the sort of bridge for your authentic self to show up. And that's what you're calling confidence. I'm going to get a bit vulnerable here and just share, for me, I actually don't believe in confidence. Oh my God, I'm saying that.
Oh, that's okay.
Confidence. Okay, so let me unpack that for you, because all my life, well, not all my life, all my recent adult life, since the podcast has started, let's go there, touch wood, in my personal development, externally supporting others, one of the consistent bits of feedback that I get given is, Amrit, so confident. Amrit, really confident. Touch wood, one of the things that, I do sort of associate myself, but enthusiasm is my favorite word in the English language. It just is, Same. It means to infuse spirit into stuff. I can nerd out on the etymology of it with you forever. But enthusiasm is just, I love it. And I think people sort of mistake enthusiasm for confidence. when they tune into my touch wood, right? This sounds very egotistical as I'm talking about myself, but the
Talk about
example
yourself,
helps
man.
because one of the things that I found is there are certain meetings where I go and, the people have asked me to come on the board and advise, and I'll be sitting there and I have nothing to say because it's the first time I'm in that meeting. I'm just sitting there and I'm just absorbing. I'm just taking in information. And to the end, like towards the end of the meeting, people have turned around to me and just been like, this has happened. And I remember this, gone, great use you were, because I didn't say anything the entire meeting, right? And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of rude. I chose not to say anything to that either. And just sort of went, you know what? All right, that's okay. Not sure where to place that. And left. And afterwards had this sort of contemplation around, I didn't really come across as and this is sort of what my definition, and we've just highlighting the difference between your definition and my definition of confidence was, because I didn't really come across as confident in that situation. And that's where I started to sit with the idea of confidence for a minute and said, you know what is confidence to me? And it feels like, pardon me for this, a bunch of hot air. And I gave up on confidence entirely and said, you know what? In certain situations, I come across as confident. In other situations, I don't come across as confident. The world thinks Amrit's really confident. They label me as being confident as something that I really have. But what do I really have in both situations that means I show up one way or the other? And what I started to realize, and maybe this is a bias because I'm a coach and everything we do is around clarity, is, in situations where I'm clear, I appear confident. And in situations where I'm unclear, I appear unconfident. So really what it is for me was like clarity. I either have clarity or I don't. And I completely threw the bathwater out with the baby on confidence. I was like, confidence is a smokescreen. It is full of shit. I'm not buying into it. I've completely debunked confidence as a
I
thing
love it.
for me. So it's really nice to
Yeah.
hear your definition,
Well, I didn't give you a
because
definition. I didn't give
go
you a
with it. Yeah,
definition.
please. Let's do it.
That's what I didn't give you a definition. So to me, the definition that I love of confidence is the original Latin word, right? Which confianza is trust. So for me, everyone is confident. Everyone can access confidence because confidence is trusting yourself. Do you have trust in yourself? That's all it is. Confidence isn't a pink hat, cheetah print heels, red lipstick, talking fast, introverted, extroverted. That's not confidence. That is not what that is. Confidence is, do you trust yourself? Meaning, I'm going to get on stage and possibly bomb, but I trust that I will figure it out. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but do I trust that 99% of the time I usually will work it out? You're still alive, my friend. Yes, you've won already. So when I look at confidence, I look at, do you trust yourself? And if you don't, every single day, make yourself one little promise so that you can build self trust, which means you're building your confidence, which means you can do whatever the hell you put your mind to. Even if you mess it up, you learned something for the next time. So that's what, to me, confidence is, my definition. I love that. So you trust
You
yourself.
are totally reworking my mind right now. I can see how self-trust is an entire dojo of work, and you can totally, spend your life at that altar. But for a quick sec, I'm just going to indulge what's coming through for me to ask a question about, which is, you can zoom that out to quite a spiritual level. It's like, can you trust the universe? Because that's something I do for my limiting belief work for myself, is I often ask myself, do I trust the universe? And sometimes the answer can be no. And I'm like, why wouldn't I trust the universe? Like, I'm here, I've got a home. Like touch wood, the present moment is so abundant right now. Why would you not trust the universe? Everything has brought you here via the universe, and you don't trust it? Like, and it's like, okay, limiting beliefs. I got work to do. Like, let's do some patching, right? Let's do some healing. So, yeah, you are blowing my mind. I'm
Right.
not sure
Well,
what to
this is
ask.
good advice. No, well, this is the thing, right? If me and Hamish always say this, my husband, we're always like, the universe is always like, the universe loves you and it wants you to win. It loves you and it wants you to win. And it knows what you're trying to do. And my mistrust of the universe, when I check in, it's my lack of patience. And when I go, if you're impatient, there must be a belief. There's no belief that the thing you want is going to come true. Because if you fully believe, if you fully trust, you're like, it'll come when it comes. Joe Dispenza shit. Like, I don't know the how, but I know it's coming. I don't need the steps. I don't need to know when, what time, and where should I be standing for me to get my blessing, right? It's like, just trust that what you're doing right now, every single day, the steps you take and the things you do is leading you towards thing that you desire. But anytime I start to go, oh, but is it going to happen? And is it happening fast enough? It's me questioning the universe. That's how I think about it. And it's me going, hold on, universe. I know you've always had my back, and I know you've always carried me through all that crazy shit that I lived. And I'm really grateful. But anyway, can we just talk about how slow you, like, when is this coming? Like, are you sure? And I start to question. And then internally, I start to question, and then I externally showcase questioning, lack of, and then the universe goes match, and then I get more lack of. And I think every time I question the universe, it goes, you have to wait a little bit longer. That's your penalty. And I'm like, oh, so then I'm like, okay, I'm patient. It's like this dance with the universe of impatience and time. And then my thing that I desire takes longer. And I think it wouldn't take as long if I would just trust, surrender. It's so hard to surrender. Let it go, and then keep doing what I do. And then the minute I forget, I'm like, oh, here's this amazing blessing. So listen, I haven't worked that out. That's a whole journey. But I think that
it is a journey.
Yeah, it is. But I guess the book, I wanted to write the book because I wanted people to know that confident people that are perceived as confident, are really just a bunch of people that are scared as hell, doing spiritual poos every 5 minutes in the arena of life, going, holy shit, who knows what's going to happen next? I don't know. People think we're cool, but we don't know what the hell we're doing here, Amarit. Well, what if this bombs? I don't know. We're going to run with it. But we're there. We're on the front seat. We're on the edge. We're like, let's go. And everyone else is like eating popcorn going, I don't know if I should do that. And in this country, I will say the self-doubt is a privilege. The fact that you don't have to put yourself out there, the fact that you don't have to quit your job that you hate because you're getting paid and you have money, this self-doubt questioning, because we can. We're so comfortable in Australia. It's like, what if you had to be pushed to the edge? You had to. And some of us need that near-death experience, person to get cancer, you break your back in an accident, God forbid someone dies, whoosh, splash water on your face, cold water, wake-up call. It's so dramatic, but unfortunately, many people need that. And so my work and what I share is about, don't wait for your whole life to break into a million pieces for you to wake up and do the thing that you want to do and be who you want to be. Gives a shit about what people think about you. We're all dying. It's definitely going to happen. People will forget about you, right? I mean, let's live. And so, yeah, that's really why I wanted to speak on that, and why I do the work that I do now. It's not because I'm so confident. I'm scared all the time, but I know that it's something I can access because I do trust myself, and I build that every day.
I want to ask you about that because a big part of my coaching is also geared towards people not having to hit rock bottom to transform. But I struggled with 6 years of depression, and I know that rock bottom was instrumental in my evolution, touch wood, and I've learned to build a relationship with it, right? And at the risk of oversharing on your behalf, there were moments where you were digging around in your car seats looking to buy a loaf of bread, and now you're a successful businesswoman, right, in your own right. And I just do wonder, like, because a lot of, we're talking about trust, but also like authenticity before as well. And it just feels like you have that in your body a little bit better when you've gone through the actual visceral challenge, to sort of rebound back out of. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, how do we build resilience without difficulty? I want to be more resilient. It's like, okay, you ready for the punch in the guts that life is about to give you? Yeah, I'm ready, but I don't want that punch. Can I get like a little nudge in the guts? No, it's going to kick you. It's going to kick you and punch you and then throw you across the floor. Is that all right with you? You're going to be super resilient. Oh, I don't know. No, like that's not how it works, right? Like we don't get to do a little bit and play it safe. And so in 2018, when that time came, I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, and he wasn't as compassionate and empathy back then. He was really like, come on. And I was just like,
hustle,
wow.
hustle, and then
Yeah, he
hustle.
was
Can you
tired.
layer your hustle sandwich with some
Yes,
hustle and
with
then
some more
drizzle
hustle.
some hustle
No,
on top?
he was like, he was looking tired, right? He was just like, no sleep, let's go, and my, lack of feminine side was like, yes, that's exactly what I need. And I needed that person to give me that because I was at a corporate job getting very comfortable in this country, forgot where I came from and the fire that I had inside. And it kind of died down. I had kids and just like, yeah, I'm doing all right. And there was a knock. And this knock has been knocking since I was 7 years old. Just a knock of, hey, I want to do this. Hey, purpose. Hey, don't forget to look over there. Hey, this is what you came here for. And the knock was there. And I just kept pushing the knock down, pretending I didn't hear it. And in 2018, it was like thumping at my door. And I was like, okay, I am going to have to make a choice here. I'm going to have to pretend that my purpose and the thing that I want to go and do doesn't exist and isn't real and smother it down, which many of us are doing and living incongruently and pretending, or I'm going to have to listen to this knock. And at that time, I had had my second baby at home. I had a beautiful home birth. Prior to that, it was a hectic cesarean, crazy, just horrible traumatic birth that I did not plan for. It was not in the brochure, but that's what I got. And so that was an experience in itself. And my husband said to me, when you had Nava, like Nava came out and I got him out of my body and I held that child, and it was a meditation. The whole birth was my eyes closed like a cow, moo, meditation. That's what it was. And he said, I don't know what happened, but this other part of you birthed. And I think I'm a pretty strong woman. And he was like, it was like power. He was like, I don't even know. And it was after that birth that I said, I'm not going back to my job at L'Oreal. Love you, L'Oreal, but I'm not doing that. I'm going to start my coaching business. I'm going to share my story. I'm going to do this. And we had it was the worst time. When's the perfect time, Emirate, to sign up to coach with you? Don't wait till your life crumbles. Like, when's the perfect time to have children? Ugh, stupid question, right? Like, when is the perfect time? There's no perfect time. So here comes this shower wisdom download as I'm in the shower, kid free, and all the stuff for me comes in the shower. And I'm in there and it's like, you need to do this. Like, it is now. I'm knocking. I'm about to come out of your mouth. Like, let's go. And so I ran down the stairs, soaking wet. I said to Hamish, I'm going to start my business. I'm not going back to my job. We just had a second baby. We bought a Tiguan. His gym was not doing well financially. So we were not in a good place. But I just knew it was like the knock was there and I had to answer the door. And so financially horrible. Like, we were 150K in debt from all the 8 years of personal development and retreats and things that we put on credit cards that was air quotes irresponsible. What's responsible? I'm sorry. Healing my traumatic ass life so that I could level my mind up, so that I could think greater than my environment and I could be a better person, so that I could be a great mother, a great human on the planet, in society, and be able to create what I have now. So, yeah, I would do that again. And I recommend, if you are listening to this and you don't have money, find a way, because you will buy the Taylor Swift tickets. You found a way to do that, didn't you? $1,500 tickets for Taylor Swift went off like this on people that didn't have money. So I found the money. We did the thing. I said to my husband, I'm rocking this out. I said to him, actually, I'm American, so don't worry. I got this. And he was like, okay, okay, babe. I just had to say, like, don't forget I'm American. I know how to do this. Like, I'm a grit and I'm a hustle and we're doing this. And within 11 months, we made 160K in the business. The next year, $500,000, and then so on and so forth. And I don't say that to impress, but to say, I was not an educated woman. I came from food stamps. I had the most craziest story. There's every reason for me not to try. However, doing the work on myself, the work that you do with your clients, Emma, and the coaching, to be able to think that I could be a greater person, and then to listen to the call, which was my purpose always all along, and do the scary shit, put it out there continuously, consistently, to be able to create what you have now. Of course, it's going to be hard. Like, who didn't sign up for hard? Welcome to planet Earth, right? This is it. I don't even know if I answered your question. Sorry.
You totally did, Erika. We've been talking about trust in the universe, trusting our life path, trust on a really big level when it comes to confidence, and I adore your definition of confidence. It is going to take some time after this episode to see if I can reconcile my
Bring it back.
previous thing about confidence being a smokescreen. Now clarity's at the heart of it, and got some serious journaling to do. But the trust piece is huge. Now, the audience listening in, I can see why you're an inspirational speaker. Your story is beyond inspiring. Practical tips. How do we start to grow confidence in our life? How do we actually learn to trust? How do we do the work? Can you please give us some takeaways that are super practical in the day-to-day micro level? I want to get super
100%.
like micro rather than macro.
Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest things that we don't realize is how we speak, the words that come out of our mouth, right? And a lot of the women that I speak to are just like, I have identified myself as a not confident, introverted, shy, whatever person. And so I just want you to take stock right now. And for the next week, for the next 7 days, see if you can be the observer of your mouth. See if you can put your eyes on your mouth. See if you can just hear yourself. If your eyes had ears and you could just listen and pay attention to the words that you speak out of your mouth. What are you saying about yourself? That's number one. Get a little journal, even if at the red light on a Kmart receipt. Oh, I said that. Interesting. Don't judge yourself, but start to pay attention to the words coming out of your mouth about yourself. Many of us call ourselves stupid, idiots. I'm such an idiot. Oh, I'm just shy. Oh yeah, I've just always been like that. Yeah, my mom said I wasn't really smart, so blah, blah, blah. I'm not the loud one. Oh, I'm never going to be confident. I'm just not confident. Fantastic. Catch what you are saying. So number one is watch what you say. And secondary to that, you will never create the thing that you say you can't be. Even if Oprah was on the other side, or Tony Robbins, or whoever, you went to however many Date with Destinies to rewire your mind. If you yourself are saying, I'm not a confident person, fantastic. That's it. End of story. Close the book. So I think that's the first thing we have to really catch, how we speak about ourselves and how we are identifying. I'm sure you know this man, Atomic Habits, amazing book. And he says, right, like, what's your identity? We have this identity that's like, no, I am an academic. Okay, well, how do you have fun? I am a nice person. How are you going to be at divorce court? Is the nice person going to show up? No, you got to get the fiery part of you. And so the identity is such a massive part of you stepping into being a more confident, outspoken, whatever version of yourself that you want to be. So that's the first real practical thing I would say. The second thing is people that believe in themselves and that have self-belief, self-confidence, high self-worth, right? They keep promises to themselves. And so one tiny thing that you could do just today is, what's one thing I can do to build trust with me? If I say I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow at 7 a.m., I'm going to go. Even if you walk into the gym and don't do much, but you said you'd go to the gym, please don't underestimate how huge this is. I know you know this as well. Like, you saying what you're going to do and then doing it builds self-trust, builds self-confidence. I keep my word, what I say I'm going to do. Anything, my friend, any small, it doesn't have to be a big thing, right? So that's the second tangible thing I would say is make yourself a promise that you're going to do something and then follow through. One thing a day. Don't be doing 17 things a day, especially if you've done 0, okay? Because that's setting you up to fail. Do the one thing. Yeah, it's right. It's like, I'm going to get up and do this thing, and then you don't do it. And then you know what happens? Subconsciously, your mind goes, yeah, because you never do that. Because
And
you
then
don't
you
know how
start
to do
labeling
that.
yourself as a failure.
Exactly.
Went back to
And I
point
hate
one.
that word. Yeah. And I hate that word. I don't care how many leadership conferences you go to and how cute you want to make the word, like fail faster, fail forward. Like, oh yeah. I don't like the word because I'm big on wording. And when I say I failed, therefore I am a failure, doesn't make me want to go again. Doesn't make me want to go, all right, I'm a failure. Let's go again. But I go, I learned that sucked. And I learned that the guy I came to Australia for was not a nice man. And then I learned the other man wasn't a nice man. Okay, I learned a lot about myself. I'm learning. Learning is exciting, right? So think about the words that you use. The third thing that I would say is choices. We need to be making decisions, my friend. There are so many things that we put off and we don't do. And we think that if we just don't look at it, and we just don't quit our job that we hate like you did 6 years ago, if we just don't pay attention to how unhappy we are in our marriage, it's going to magically go away. And we can distract ourselves, especially today in this world of phones and, oh my gosh, notifications and the dopamine situation that we got going on. So, confident people and people that are wanting to build more confidence make decisions. They make choices that are not easy, the big ones as well. And so, look at what is a decision that you have put off. What's a choice that you know you need to make right now in your life that feels too big for you to do? Just put it down on paper somewhere. I'm not saying take action on it straight away, but you know what you need to do, and when you can get it out and have a look at it and go, wow, that's something that I have to do, at least we can start making an action plan towards shifting and changing it. But if you don't look at the decisions you need to make and pretend to distract yourself with life, nothing changes. You will never step into the change. It's such a big one.
I want to use that as a bit of a leverage point to dive into the 5 C's of choice: courage, create, consider,
Yeah.
continue. But just before we do, I love the first one about witnessing your words, and I'm really feeling the depth with which you're just conscious of the words you choose and how you use them, and just how much you're literally reprogramming yourself and your relationship with self through language. Yeah, and then the second point you shared was, I had this realization about self-esteem as well, which was it can be built so easily. It's like, I'm gonna pick up this pen, I'm gonna put it down, and whether you know it or not, it's like a grain of sand in the bank of like, I can trust that what I say I do. It sounds so stupid. It's like, I'm a stand up and I'm a sit down, and you're literally just doing what you say, and your physiology speaks to your psychology, and you're building
100%.
in the muscle and the relationships. And oftentimes, because I remember when I was on the entrepreneurial journey and starting, it's like, tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then tomorrow I'm going to get all 6 of those things done. And then I'd get one done and I'd be like, you fucking suck, man.
Yeah.
That's where I
Yeah.
was like, honing on the point. I was like, but you did that
Yeah.
one thing. And now I've got an amazing gratitude practice, touch wood. I'm grateful for
Nice.
my gratitude practice. I'm one of those guys.
Yes. Yes. So good though.
Yeah,
So good.
it changes everything. But the
Yeah.
point being that, yeah, it just starting with the small things and enforcing the what you say you do,
Oh
and
my
building that
gosh.
trust within yourself.
Huge.
And literally, it builds a spine within you. I feel it's like it is the definition of integrity. I'm sure there's someone out there that's doing a case study somewhere about just how it actually will, your posture will change. The whole Jordan Peterson stand-up stall with your shoulders back and chest out. Like, I'm sure there probably is that ripple in there. So I just wanted to pepper those points in before I gave you permission to really just permission. I'm giving you permission. What the fuck? The space. Sorry, that's a better word. To share about, we touched on choice, courage, create, consider, continue. However you want to sort of share that with us, because there is a whole journey and a methodology in there, which, has a lot to be spoken to.
Yeah. So I guess I want to just share that it's a very simple. I always would be like, this is not brain surgery, some crazy methodology that we made up. It was me 10 years working with women specifically around creating confidence. It was me researching the most confident people that I could see, that people would see as confident, and going, what is it that they do? And after 10 years of working with thousands of women from different countries on external confidence, physical confidence with the way that they move their bodies, and then working in the mindset and as a coach. And now in my therapy work, I'm just like, there are a set of steps that confident people, air quotes, take. And I stopped moving from confidence being you're confident or you're not. In my head, that's what I first started with, to it's a practice, like yoga, like meditation. Meditation and confidence is a very good analogy together, because my husband loves, he does shamanic work, he loves meditation. And he was working with a meditation teacher, and he wanted to get to this place, this Zen place where he got this big aha, whatever, Kundalini awakening situation. And one time in practice, he got to this amazing place. And as soon as he was like, oh my God, I'm in this amazing place, it was gone. It was completely gone. And so he's like, I need to get back there. I need to get there. But the needing to get was never going to make it happen. And so you could be in your practice of confidence. And when you're practicing confidence, just like you'd be practicing meditation, there's no final destination. There's no arriving. There's no getting to confidence town. And now I am confident. No, because I'll be on stage and then my high heel breaks and I fall flat on my ass. There goes my confidence. It is gone. I'm now in embarrassment, right? I'm now turning red. I'm now like, fuck, I'm like a survival mode. I want to get out of there. I'm sweating. So when I talked about confidence and when we sat down with this process, we're like, so what is this really? It's a practice. And just like meditation, you go in and you come back out. And so we thought about the real 5 steps, and they weren't C's. They were just steps. And then, of course, we tried to make them marketable and remembering. So I'm like, oh, all these will work. Yeah,
memorable.
These will work as C's. And so, as you said, it's choice. So confident people are making choices. It's about the decisions, and it's the big ones. I'm not telling you right now to make a choice. I'm saying identify and really acknowledge the fact that you want to leave your job and you've been fucking around with that for 6 years, knowing that you don't want to do it and not doing it. How are you meant to be in the practice without actually deciding to do that? The second one is courage. And my definition in the book of courage is your ability to take action while you're simultaneously shitting yourself. So that's my definition of courage is I am scared as hell and I'm in the dark and I might step on a spider or on a block and hit my head and fall over, but I'm going to move my feet. I'm not in the dark like fearless, #fearless. I don't care how many t-shirts you have. Nobody's fucking fearless. I'm scared all the time. So courage was about, are you scared? High five. Fantastic. Keep moving. You're supposed to be scared. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Confidence feels
That's
like
what
shit.
courage is. Exactly. This is horrible. You have spiritual poos and you're nervous and you're scared. Great job, my friend. And you're looking at me like, is this the right thing? Because this is horrible. And I'm like, yeah, great. Keep going. Number 3 is create. And we didn't say action, obviously, because that's not a C, but also we kind of play with action. Obviously, we got to do shit. But sometimes, especially now, we're in this action, 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 do stuff, do stuff, do stuff. You could take 17 actions that get you nowhere. Sometimes you need to create a way through. There's no way through. Sometimes you need to create some space. Sometimes you need to create an opportunity that doesn't exist and you need to zoom out and be like, oh, we're creators. And so number 3 is not action, but it's about creating. What's one small thing? What small creation that can support that choice, that big decision you need to make to get some momentum? It's small. The create is tiny. It's not this big action list. Number 4 is consider. And I think we can do more of this as a community, as a society, as a collective. How did you go? How was it? You did a small thing. You made a move towards the thing you want to make. How was that? Yeah. So like consider, was it really a failure? Did I fail? Actually, I learned something, Okay, cool. Oh, that was shit. That was really not good. I'm never going to do that again. Every time I speak, I'm so hard on myself, but in a healthy way. I want to give great work to the art, and I never want to get high on my own supply. And I think humility is such a big thing that you gain when you have overcome a lot and you're resilient and you messed up a lot, basically. And so I always evaluate. I watch what I said. I watch my talks. I'm like, oh, that was too much. I did that, whatever. Okay, cool. Now I can do better. The next step. And always the point is, can we do better? So that's consider. And then number 5 is continue. Here's what happens. If consider you fell flat on your ass, air quotes, you failed, and you think you're a failure, many people get stuck in consider. They get stuck as a failure. They go, well, last time I did that, it sucked and it was horrible. And they stay in number 4 for years and years, frozen, paralyzed by their mishaps and the mistakes that they made. And instead of continuing on in their practice of confidence, it becomes a crowbar and they just get stuck. Some people for years are stuck here. And I'm like, babe, I know you fell. And I know you think it was really dramatic. The blood has dried and no one's watching you and you're still on the floor. Get your ass up because we're walking all over you and you're making a scene. Who cares? Come on, let's go. And you get up and you go again and you go again. And really uh, courage and continue are not even real steps. If you watch a confident person, someone out there, Oprah, whoever you think is amazing, they don't even you don't see them fall. They fall all the time, but they're up so quick, back to it. They're scared, yeah, courage. So it almost becomes like this, the wind that keeps them moving, and they're just making choices, taking action, evaluating, doing something different, going again, and the movement of confidence happens, and then you go, wow, she's so confident. And I'm like, no, they are just committed to the practice. And that's the 5 C's.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing them and
Oh,
explaining them
you.
so concisely. And I love what you're sharing there about courage is, yeah, this impregnated sort of attitude that's in there, and the continue is the elasticity to sort of just come back. And courage gives you, when we're seeing like an elastic band being pulled and then let go and then pulled and then
Yeah.
let go, it's,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's the thing that I love the most about what you shared is, yeah, the fact that it's a practice, because that does align back to what I was saying before in terms of my own relationship with confidence. Was not that I'm an expert on confidence, just around in some places I have it, in some places I don't. And me trying to reconcile that fact and coming home to clarity, and here you sort of sharing it's a practice. You work on it in some places you feel it more, in some places you don't, and it's, I really like the consider piece as well around learning to like evaluate
Yeah.
what did
But
I
you know what you
learn
do
from
have?
there, have I succeeded,
You
yeah, go on.
you always trust. You're
Mm.
in the boardroom trusting that you're consuming, taking in, listening, landing, marinating,
And that's what
and
I'm
that
meant to
you
be
will go
doing in this
away.
moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're trusting that. And so, anytime I think, oh God, I can't do that, or oh, who am I to do that? I just go, you know what? You have made it all the way to here. You're not going to trust. Like you'll figure it out. And even if you don't know, you'll sit there and you'll watch and you'll go, shit, I don't know what I'm doing. This is shocking. And then you'll be like, cool. And then you'll learn that you didn't know what you were doing. And next time you got to prepare. Or, you know what? Listening really helped me to go, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't like this. Like you're going to gain information either way, but trusting that you know always what you can do and what you can't do. And that always you can trust that you will be okay. You're going to be okay. Just that core, like to me, that just allows me to walk around in the world. That gives me, which, is a whole other thing, but that gives me the one thing that the women I work with, the thing that holds them back the most is that they care so much what people think about them. And so the caring of the opinion of others makes us shrink even further into our self bubble. Then we can't be fully expressed. We can't learn to trust ourselves because we have to show up as who we think people will think we will be. And so I'm always looking out to my world to show me who I am. And if I'm accepted, then it's a complete blocker of that journey of practice of confidence. And so now I just walk around going, you know what? I know who I am in the moment. I don't know who I'll be tomorrow. I'm okay with the change. I'm okay with not knowing who I am because I don't know who I'll be in 6 months, and I know I'm not that. So let's worry about who I'm not. I know I'm not that. That's what I'm not, and I remove the layers of who I'm not. And the more I remove the layers, the closer I come to who I am, and then I change again. And so I'm like, well, if I don't know who I am, how the hell do you know who I am? I don't care if you judge me because you're not judging me. You're judging yourself because I'm triggering the shit out of you because you don't know how to be who you are. So that's cool. So it's just like freedom, 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 confidence, freedom, not caring, letting go. And then the more I do that, the closer to the authenticity I can become. And that integral congruence with myself, people think it's confidence. I don't know. It's self trust, right? It's like, yeah. So all of that I feel like lives, they're like cousins. They kind of work together in this realm. Yeah.
Erika, I will put a link to Confidence Feels Like Shit in the show notes below for everybody to
Yes.
tune into. For those that want to work with you further, how do they, they're inspired to evolve to greater levels of
Yes.
confidence? What's the best way to reach out and connect with you further?
Well, thank you so much for having me. And thank you for watching and listening. And if you love this, please tag us so that we can see you loving this episode. So, the best way, I'm always on Instagram. Go to thequeenofconfidence.com. The way that I support women, I do unfortunately only work with women. It has just been my calling and it's my greatest joy and greatest mission. And I support my women here in Australia through a program called the Sisterhood Live, where we do live events and community work together, and my women overseas in the online sisterhood, which we do all online. And so those are really the two ways to get into the work with me. But I think the best thing to do is enjoy the content and vibe, because obviously there's a specific flavor over here happening. And so I love that. And I'm happy also to share with your audience the 5 C's. It's just the quick little 5 steps that you can do yourself and just every single day check in. It's a pretty easy roadmap to go, what am I doing right now? My next step is the next one. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me. And I hope that each and every one of you listening go out there and build that self-trust with you.
Sister Bear, it has been my absolute pleasure having you here. And yeah, as you can tell, going through this conversation, there's parts of even me that have been even me, like I'm something special. There's been parts of me literally in the front seat being reworked around confidence as well. So I can truly attest to the fact that you are the queen of confidence. And what a calling, just helping people to learn to trust more and more and more in themselves, in life, in the universe. And honestly, I could totally thank you for today's conversation. I absolutely will. But the reality is, like we started, your origin story, there is so much space for you to have just severed that connection to faith and trust. And yet you just showed up again and again and again and again, like a boxer that just would not back down. So I just want to honor you for your life's work and thank you, because this conversation really stands on the shoulders of all of that. I see you. I'm grateful. Thank you so much for doing this here with us today. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I'm taking all that in and deeply grateful for the work and the platform that you've built. And thank you for leaving that work and doing this work, because you're so in the right place. Appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to its end. Obviously, you absolutely love this podcast, and I want to thank you so much for watching this all the way through. Here is another video that's perfectly curated just for you to watch as the next best video to keep your inspiration flowing, to keep you evolving, to keep you yelling. Check it out now.